Don't bother everybody. Okay, so I think Bobby's not going to be joining me, so we're going to be doing this solo. So we're picking up in the middle. I'm just kind of filling in some Yahoo lineups right now. Let me just take care of that, and then we can kind of press on here. Hold on a minute. Let's download this, and then we're going to go into Yahoo, and we're going to enter this, and then we're going to upload from what we just did. Then we're going to get back into these games. So let's take care of this. And excellent. Very good. Okay. Let me get back into here. All right. Sounds good. So I guess again, I do things just a little differently when I'm kind of on my own. If anybody can find out if in the next, I guess, 45 minutes or so, whether they're announcing the starter of that for the Timberwolves, that would actually be pretty helpful because Ed Davis, whatchamacallit, because where's Ed Davis? Yeah, because Ed Davis starting at 3,400 is going to be interesting, but if he's not starting, then I'll probably go elsewhere. And one of the interesting pivots off of Ed Davis is right in the same game. Now, again, not that big of a deal, but Juan Hernangomez played for Denver before. So last time these guys played, they gave him a full 24 minutes or so. So I think that he might be in play at lower ownership as well. So what I'm going to do is let me just so this is what I have. So this is some of my lineups. I'm going to get my biggest lineup here because it's a little bit of a struggle. It's a little bit of a struggle with what I want to do with this. I probably don't want to keep it exactly like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my numbers, go through the projections as a function of of ownership, and then we'll just see if we can't come up with this. So I mentioned earlier that I really like this Portland-Chicago situation. You know, it's number one, it's a late game, which is good because it affords me the flexibility to change some things if things aren't going the way I want. Second of all, it's just, you have two alphas here. Actually, they're kind of four alphas between Lillard, McCollum, Levine, and Kobe White in a really fast-paced game. And I just kind of want to have exposure to that. I mean, there's really two games that, at least to me, dominate the exposure. At least it should, and that's the first game and the last game. You know, the Utah-Brooklyn game obviously makes a lot of sense because with Durant out, you know, it's just, I know you try to overthink it, but the fact of the matter is the math is kind of tough to overcome. You know, the Durant usage and shots and everything, they just have to go somewhere. So that's why all these Brooklyn guys are going to pop, and that's why fading them all might be a little bit, foolhardy. And then you have these games like Lakers, Memphis, and Denver, Minnesota that rate to be kind of blowouty. So people are going to kind of screw around a little bit, you know, and I might too with some of these backups or some of these bench players. We'll get into it. So the first thing we're going to do, again, I don't want to confuse people all too much, but just to kind of let you know kind of what I'm working with. I'm going to go through my rankings on FanDuel, and then we're going to go and see if we can't plug the lineups in. And this is exactly the way I look at it. Hey, what's up, Believer? Great job yesterday. I saw that you finally cashed for something worth mentioning on there. I know. It doesn't make up for a lifetime of disappointment, and you know you should have won this. But you know what? It is always good to put something good up on the board. So with respect to FanDuel, see, this is the way I look at it, like position by position. So I see, and let's just say that we're going to rank them by this metric here. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? But this is kind of like a points per dollar times, you know, salary type thing. So you'll see that Jokic has such a huge advantage over Gobert that fading it is going to be a very, very difficult thing. Like, you're really going to have to make up for that elsewhere. Not that we can't do it, but that's interesting. And then you look at the way the ownership discount is afforded. So like here I have average ownership discount, average ownership, and you'll see that the next highest ranked guy, and this is FanDuel only, Gobert is 1/3 the ownership, and it actually makes a little bit of sense. So you're not going to really find all too much in the way of an ownership discount, except for these two spots here. And this is where I think I want to get some more exposure, is if you're going to fade Jokic in the center position on FanDuel, I would go down maybe to these dudes, like either Valanciunas or Wendell Carter, because you're not forfeiting all that much with respect to points per dollar and stuff, and you're getting huge ownership discounts, like to the name of like 5% or something. So that's what I would do at center. Then at power forward, it's a similar situation, right? So you have AD, it ranks so much higher than everybody else. And the fact that FanDuel, you have to play these guys, there's positional scarcity involved here. I mean, you have to play two power forwards. It makes it difficult to fade Davis. Now, you can make cases for why you'd want to, blowout risk and all that stuff. But the fact is that if you don't play him and he even puts up 45 points, you're going to have to make those points up. And the power forward position really doesn't look like the place to do it. Now, where it gets interesting is you look at this kind of second kind of tier here, and you look to see if there's any huge ownership discount, and there really isn't. So honestly, you're not going to be able to get much leverage the power forward position. So I would take, Davis and one of these other dudes and just kind of pick your favorite. Or pick yours, the one that best correlates to your other lineups. Like if you're going to play Zach LaVine, then you probably want to play somebody from the Portland side. So maybe you'll play Covington, all right? Something like that. Go down to point guard. And again, I do it differently than everybody else because just I'm doing it alphabetically. No, there is no horse racing today, actually. Every other day except for Monday and Tuesday. So at the point guard position, there's a slight edge to Lillard over Kyrie as far as I'm concerned. Actually, it's kind of like a dead tie. But the thing is that Lillard has here's the thing. Lillard has a little bit better, little lower ownership, so I give Lillard a little edge. And the fact that you can play LaVine or Kobe White on the other side of this game, I think gives Lillard kind of the edge. So for me, I prefer something like Lillard with Kobe White or something like that because these guys correlate decently. If you're going to play, what's his name, Kyrie, you're going to have to run it back with Utah guys. And you can. I mean, you can run it back with Conley, and we're going to get to Mitchell in a minute. But I do prefer slightly Lillard over Kyrie because of the strong run backs with Kobe White and what's his face and Zach LaVine. Kobe White 20% again. You're not getting any real big bargains down here. So again, so the way I look at it then is you should feel comfortable when you get down to say Lou Williams, because I do have Lou Williams in some lineups. And just be comfortable that, you're not picking up that much on the field, but then again, you're not losing too much either. So again, I would just make a slight edge to Lillard and really any of these other guys in here, like DeJounte Murray, Jamal Murray's fine. Again, NBA, it's very difficult. Yeah, we're getting there, Denrick. We're getting to LeVert in a second. So speaking of which, we'll get there in a second. So small forward, you'll see what's interesting. With small forward, it's kind of a little spread out. So, like, for example, there's not as big of a priority, I think, to play either Kawhi or LeBron, right? Because there's not that much of a drop-off down to guys like Porter or Barton. And likewise, Porter fits that, fits that correlation game, that Chicago with what's his name. So we have Kuzma starting, Todd, but are AD and LeBron still playing? That's really good information, though, Todd. And again, anything that comes up, and it's the one thing I can't have every screen going, so I don't see the late news coming. Anything like that, just kind of let me know. So again, like from an ownership perspective, you're not getting a huge break either. So the way I look at slates like this is if you're not going to get a huge break with like ownership, you should probably make up for it with correlation. And we're going to get back to how to do that in a minute. Shooting guard, as you mentioned before, LeVert rates to be a really, really good play. But what's interesting here is that he doesn't rate to be that much better of a play than some of these other guys, right? So, and this is the way I look at it. He does look like to be a good play, as does Zach LaVine, as does Paul George, as does DeMar DeRozan, as does Donovan Mitchell, as does C.J. McCollum, even down to Dennis Schroeder and D'Angelo Russell. So for me to see LeVert at 35%, you might be able to fade him. You know what I mean? I don't mean to play zero, but if you play like, single entry or three max, all you need is one kind of cool little pivot and you can get it done. Like if you just, instead of playing LeVert, play, say, not even anything that fancy. Let's say you play Kyrie with Mitchell, okay, which makes perfect sense. And then you play LaVine with Lillard, then it seems though you're playing some obvious plays, yet you're fading LeVert. So you are getting a decent amount of, some degree of leverage, it seems. Now, I don't know if you're going to win a 150-person, a 500,000 person tournament like that, but I think it certainly puts you in a position to do okay in 3 max and things like that. Okay, real quick, and then we're going to go into lineups for a second. Let me just look at DraftKings and see if there's any marketable difference here. Melton back? Okay. So like when I rank these guys on DraftKings without positional scarcity issues, it's no surprise. Like all these guys kind of look to be good plays. Jokic, Irving, LeBron, even Kawhi, AD, Lillard, LaVine, and you're not getting any big ownership discounts one way or the other. Lillard, for whatever reason, might end up being low owned. Just because of his price, I think that's one thing you could do. Paul George, also because of his price, rates to be about 12%, something like that. That's really tasty. Okay, so those would be guys that I might be looking at. Look at Jamal Murray at 10%, maybe. DeJounte Murray 11%, things like that. Then if you want to look for value, you rank them a little differently, and then you get to see all this nonsense. So now you get to see these guys at the top. So Ed Davis, as we mentioned before, if he's starting for Minnesota, he's going to rate to be a really good point per dollar play. PJ Dozier is getting some projection love here because, he's been getting 20, 25 minutes anyway, and with the threat of this game blowing out, at 3,200, he lets you get a lot of other guys in. TLC. The issue with TLC is that he's going to be 20% owned, and I don't know, man. He seems awfully shooting dependent, and this is the way I kind of look at the rotations in this game. I think that they're going to, if anybody has the Nets starting lineup, they're not starting LeVert, are they? Someone could find that out for me. That would be really helpful. Because if they start, for example, TLC, then I think that LeVert might come in for him if he's not playing well. Whereas if TLC were coming off the bench, that he would be getting in after whatever. So I don't know. I don't know about TLC at 3,700. The interesting thing, and this is the way I look at it, like I'm ranking these guys by points per dollar, and I see that Hernan Gomez is ranked almost the same as Ed Davis, maybe 1 or 2 points below, and yet his ownership is like 6%. So for me, that's the first thing I'm probably going to do is remove my, a good amount of my Ed Davis and replace him with Juan Hernan Gomez. That's just the way I try to seek out leverage. And other guys here that, you might not think to play. So JaMychal Green's probably going to get some love, right? Because he just had a really good game and, he's 3,800. But maybe Zubac at 4,200 at a little lower ownership. Maybe that makes a little more sense. So that's another guy I might look for. So that's I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into these kind of like cheap centers and kind of get some Zubac and some Hernan Gomez in for the Ed Davis crowds. Another guy who I like is Georgie Dang. Another good value play. I mean, again, Memphis is up in the air. Anything's possible with these guys. Taurean Prince bothers me. He just never seems to do anything. He just always seems to just stand around. So even if he starts, I mean, he's fine. I'm probably going to just weave him into kind of my values. So that's like the overall look of this. So now, based on what I just said, right, let's focus, and I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to focus, and I'll take questions as they come up, right? That's my overall look at the players. But let me any questions, just fire them off, because I pretty much have done my MME stuff. I'm just kind of like focusing on my bigger buy-ins, so I do have some time to look at this. So to answer your question, by the way, Mark, so you can look at the Dame Levert thing one of two ways, right? On the one hand, normally what you want to do is play guys in that correlate well with one another. But I think on a slate like this, that actually might be somewhat contrarian to do what you're saying, is to play Dame with Levert, because I think that more people are going to do the opposite. I think more people are going to play, Dame with LaVine. Now I'm going to probably get them all in some lineups, so here's what I did in this kind of main thing. So in this main lineup, I played Lillard I got Lillard and LaVine and Irving. So what I have double run backs. I have Lillard, LaVine here, and then I have Irving, Mitchell over here. The problem is that, well, it makes sense, is that you run out of money, right? So I played Barton, Ed Davis, Jeff Green, and PJ Dozier. And as you might imagine, that's a little scary, right? I mean, especially the Jeff Green piece. So wonder if we can't do a little bit better. Now, Barton I kind of like, but I just have a weird feeling that we could do a little bit better. So let's say that we just cleared the decks here, okay? And we wanted to go to play these guys, and we have $38.75 per player. And let's say we were going to rely on my projections and the things that we just talked about to make it work. So let's first, instead of playing Ed Davis, let's put in no, that's what we do, Mark. We totally spitball. I'm totally in. So let's say we put Hernan Gomez in the power forward position. Now that would be somewhat interesting. So now let's go back to what I was doing and looking at my looking at the list here, and just from a point per dollar perspective, just see where these guys rank. So Ed Davis still looks to be like a really good play, but again, we don't even know if he's starting yet, so I'm going to hold off on that. We have Jared Allen starting, and we have Prince starting. Okay, very good. So I think I'd rather play Lou Williams for some reason than Barton. I think it might make me a little more middling. And then you know what I could do? Then I might be able to play Zubac, which is going to be interesting here. So let's see if we can't make this work. No, because Zubac, yeah. So if we played Zubac over here at the center position, who did I say? Hold on, I want to get back to it. Because I kind of liked, I didn't want to have to play Jeff Green. Lou Williams, he's a guard. That's going to be difficult, right? Crap. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to play Mitchell and play Lou Williams. So we need forwards, small forwards. Who's starting? Jeff Green? Oh, well, that's the end of that. I'm going back to where I was. Okay. Hold on. We're going to go back there. I'm in on that one. That's exactly what they needed. Okay. So we're going to put Jeff Green back into this position right here. Yeah, I like this now. So now you can go back to, I'm going to go back to exactly the way I had it, I think. That was the one spot that I was really nervous about. And then what we could do is we could either put Hernan Gomez, or let's put Davis back over here. And let's put Barton back over here. And that looks something decent. Now, just have to make sure this isn't too chalky. Well, you know what? This has no Levert, right? This has no, whatchamacallit, Jokic. This isn't that bad. I just have to watch and make sure about this Davis Hernan Gomez situation, because I think that's the way to go, is to pivot from Davis to Hernangomez. So let's update this entry right here. And let's do the same thing with some other entries that are just kind of the bigger buy-ins. So let's just take a look at this one. So this is similar. It's almost exactly the same, right? So this one, it's similar. It's got Lillard and Levine, which I like. It's got Mitchell and Irving. And this one actually is a little different because it goes for Thad Young at the forward position, which is fine. But again, I think what I want to do is, so TLC isn't starting, Peyton? Is that right? TLC is going to come off the bench? So let me just see something. So he's power forward. No, what? He's not starting. He's coming off the bench. That's correct? Okay. So now if I did this, now let's turn this one into Zubac, maybe. LeVert and Harris off the bench, which is somewhat interesting. So if I did this, TLC off the LeVert, Harris, TLC. And what that does, by the way, Harris off the bench actually makes, well, I shouldn't say it makes LeVert a little worse because LeVert will give better assists to Harris in the game. So this is actually somewhat interesting. What I think I'm going to do, I want to go into my FanDuel lineup. I just want to make sure that I don't think I'm going to want to play Harris coming off of the bench at 4,600. Bruce Brown starting, huh? Bruce Brown is starting. That is very, that is definitely very interesting. So I have to think about whether we're going to want to play that, right? Do we want to play Bruce Brown in actual lineups? So what we're trying to do here is, let's see something. Let's see if the projections, kind of looking at this offline here, will update as a result. Yeah, they're screwing around with this. Bruce Brown starting, that is definitely not something that I anticipated. So I'm going to have to wait on that a little bit. But Bruce Brown, let's see what his price is. Let's first. I would like to get Joe Harris probably out of this lineup. Let's edit this. Edit lineup. Let's see if I can't do a little bit better than Joe Harris. What's interesting, though, is that Joe Harris has weird correlation with Caris LeVert, right? Maybe I'm supposed to do this anyway. Just because those guys are starting doesn't mean they're finishing. I think I'm going to keep this. I think that could be somewhat interesting. By the way, FanDuel sucks. FanDuel totally stinks. Let me see. I'd like to get an updated projection. I have to tweak a couple of things to see if I'm almost positive that I don't want to play Bruce Brown. But he's 3 freaking K. He's literally 3,000. If he plays 20 minutes even, if he plays 20 minutes, is that enough? So Peyton is playing, saying, is his raw points matter at P? Yeah, I kind of feel that way too with respect to I kind of feel that way too with respect to AD. I think that he's a must also. I mean, I would say must, but I think that unless you're going really deep, I think that it's more important that you get him in than a lot of other studs. Just because the position is just so brutal over there. Let me see. What else? Let me just go into Yahoo, see if anything I need to switch over here. So this is an interesting little punt play if you're interested. So Jarrett Culver, what's his name? Josh Okogie is out again. So I think Jarrett Culver on certain sites is a really, really good price. On FanDuel, if you play on FanDuel, he's like almost a bare minimum. So I think that's good. Derrick Jones Jr., the bare minimum, I think he's pretty good over there. If you play, I mean, I know that people don't like to play FanDuel, but, you know, I'll just say this, man. I've had some tremendous success there this year. I had a big basketball hit there. I had a big football hit there. You know, people, you know, a lot of the pros don't like to spend a lot of time on it. And, you know, that makes it a little bit more, a little bit better EV. Let me see. Again, what I'm doing is continuing to update my projections here to see, because I got to change a couple of usage things to see what I want to do with Bruce Brown. Let's see. So no, nothing has really changed yet. The 3K price tag on DraftKings is what is really is what I'm really going to have to get my arms around. Okay, let me see. What other news is out there? Anything else important? I'm just going to check something right here. Is there anything in my Discord maybe? Let me go into my Discord and see if any, these are like all the different Discords I'm in. These guys, let's see what they have to say. And again, this is totally fine by me. Yeah, maybe, but they are, he's pretty expensive though over there. Nets are starting Bruce Brown. The reason is transparent because he's had success guarding Donovan Mitchell in the past. He's played 3 minutes. Let me see. Nets starting's confirmed. Yeah, this is really interesting. Let me see if I can't get up another updated projection system over here. Just guys, bear with me. Yeah, it looks like we're giving. What are we giving these guys? We're giving Bruce Brown any love here? We're giving no. Still doesn't have the minutes. Still don't have minutes projections here. Let me see what else we have here. Bruce Brown into guard. What's his name? Into guard Donovan Mitchell. I don't quite get it. Let me see. This is really strange. What I'm just going to have to do is I'm going to have to just kind of hang in there and just wait to see what a couple of my projection sources kind of do with this Bruce Brown thing. Because if he's going to project for like 20 fantasy points at 3K, I'm really going to have to rebuild all the lineups, right? I just can't imagine this being the plan. I just can't imagine him playing like starters minutes. Let me see something. Brooklyn. No, I do like the Jeff Green, but for whatever reason, Bruce Brown was not in my was not in the plan. Landry Shamet, he's going to probably get 20 minutes. I guess Levert's kind of, I was about to say, I don't think this really changes the Levert situation much at all. So you're saying with Allen starting, he thinks become, yeah, I do think, if he starts, I think he does pick up extra minutes. It also makes Rudy Gobert, I mean, as good of a play he was, I mean, it might even be better. So I'm going to give this another maybe 10 minutes, and then I'm going to see how Bruce Brown. Can't believe so much of this slate now is determined by Bruce Brown, which is a little annoying. Let's see anything over here. We got this. Yeah. Any questions while we're waiting on this or no? Let me just review. With the exception of Bruce Brown, let's see. By the way, I presume Bruce Brown is the bare minimum over here, right? Let's just double check. Presume he's 3,500, 3,600. Is he a better play than Lou Williams? Starting? I don't know. Maybe. That's my Discord kind of firing up over there. And I'm telling you, all the projection models are just blowing up right now. This is like kind of weird behind the scenes stuff. I just can't, like, every one of these projection models is just lost their minds. But you don't want to get lazy. Like, I could very well just go and say, you know what, screw Bruce Brown, but this is what playing DFS is. You have to kind of just factor everything in. It's a 3K guy. And it's not like he's like, it's not like he's going to go crazy. I mean, whenever he's in, if he's starting alongside of Kyrie Irving, I mean, how many shots is Bruce Brown actually going to get? I mean, I don't know. But it's definitely something to look at. What is this? This game, fading. You see, I wouldn't fade the Nets. I wouldn't fade the Nets. Nets lineup. They're working through the minutes and usage. Lots of uncertainty here. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to wait until the last possible time, which is going to be in about 10 minutes from now. And then I'm going to have to let you guys go, because then I have to kind of focus on these lineups and the rebuilding. I wasn't anticipating having to rebuild the whole thing, but I might. All right, what are you doing with us? Small forward, Peyton? You are double punting. I think it's a really good idea. Who are you using? Who are you double punting over there? Because I have that too. I have right now I have Derek Jones and Joe Harris, but I have to see how the projections update for Joe Harris not being in the game. I'm not starting. But I definitely think Derek Jones at 3,600 is really cheap. But there are other guys. Let me pull that up again and remind myself who I liked at FanDuel at small forward. Let's see. FanDuel small forward. There was, Derek Jones. You have Prince too. Yeah, Prince is bad. You know who isn't bad if you want an upside guy? I don't know how many lines you play. I don't want to tell you what to do. But at 4,400 at small forward, you could play Anthony Edwards on Minnesota. That's something kind of different you could do. He's a rookie, so when he gets in there, he's gonna be trying to show out. So I definitely like him. That would be and the other punt that I brought up earlier, there are a couple of them, man. You could play Carmelo at 4,200 if you feel like it. Remember, Chicago can't guard anybody. And Jared Culver. I mean, I agree with you in principle. I do like the double punt with the small forward, and I'm not going to argue with you over Taurean Prince. I think that's a pretty decent idea. But I don't know, man. Like Taurean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being biased, but Taurean Prince has never got there for me. That's the best I can describe it. It just never got there for me. So I'll probably go elsewhere. But I'm not going to argue with you either. Let's see. All right. So here's a different model. So what this has is, I'm just kind of looking at this on the side, is Bruce Brown with a 20 fantasy point projection at 23 minutes. So that's pretty brutal. I'm probably going to have to do some funny business over there. Okay, so and what has it got Harris at? Let me just see. So I'm going to change my Harris projection as well to only 20 fantasy points. So this is going to be a little bit of a train wreck. All right, so let's first do this. So what I'm doing is this is really like behind the scenes stuff. I'm just kind of uploading and changing all my projections, and then if I have time when I'm done doing this, I'll just kind of like I'll rerun everything on that main sheet, and probably have to rebuild all of my lineups because of the Bruce Brown thing. But that's fine. I got plenty of time, or as I say, plenty of time, no problem. So I'm updating DraftKings, I'm updating FanDuel. Still got plenty of time to do this. It's only 7:07. Let's see if another. So what I do is I have like 4 different projection models that I use, and I just kind of like to update. I want to see how things change. Let me look at another one. Unfortunately, I can't show you the actual projection models. I can just show you the summary of them. Unfortunately, if that makes any sense. All right, so let me see if I can't. Let's see if this one updated. And you wanted this is actually what I do. So Bruce Brown is not on there. So let's upload. And this is actually what I'm doing. It's on the side, so you can't see it, unfortunately. So Bruce Brown, they're giving him 11. That's so interesting. I don't know how many to give this dude. I got one group giving him 11. I got another group giving him 20. Just average it. But I just don't want to get lazy. Let me see what these guys have. These guys made him. Still don't even have anything on Bruce Brown. Oh, there it is. They got him with 15. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if I can get this done in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my own projections. I'm going to redo my projections. Then I'm going to re-aggregate them, and then we're going to see how it changes. And then let's see if I have time to deliver the information to you in time, which is going to be doubtful. But let's see. Okay. We're going to change this one over here. And then we got to do FanDuel also. This is really weird. I'm very rarely under the gun like this. Although I do have 20 minutes. 20 minutes is fine. I think we're going to have to play Bruce Brown, which is unfortunate. Then we're going to put FanDuel right there. Okay. Bruce Brown. Just make sure that we have the Bruce Brown in here. Yep, makes sense. Should I go to this one too? Let's see if I can get this guy going. We got one more group to look at, and then we're going to update my official projections. Let's see. This and then this. Because I know what people. Oh my God, he's going to be a lock, isn't he? Annoying. Annoying. We're going to change FanDuel. Again, I'm sorry I'm not in the chat, but hopefully you'll understand. I have my own stuff I have to worry about first. And then back to DraftKings. And we will download from there, DraftKings. Okay. FanDuel. No, it'd be DraftKings 3. Okay, so now, almost done. Almost. DraftKings 3 done, and then DraftKings 3 done. And so now what we're going to do is come back over here. we're gonna run. Boy, one of these days I'll explain to you what this all this nonsense is. We don't need this. 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 Need to rerun. First we'll rerun FanDuel. Nope, failed because I didn't do it right. Crap. Okay. No problem. We gotta go back into here. FanDuel. FanDuel 2. And then we're going to go FanDuel 1. Hold on. One, then we go back into here. I know what I did. FanDuel 3. Okay. Let's see if I can even run my shit, so to speak. Where'd my thing go? Okay. So now we're going to then, so this puts everything with average and average own. So now what I'm doing is I am just putting it back into, I'm using SaberSim to build these. So let's upload, I could show you this actually. So we're going to upload the data over here. Set this to 0. This is the MME stuff. You got to go back and do the big stuff in a second. And then we're going to go, we're going to rebuild these. What did I have, 114 lineups? That's how many we're building with this little one. So we're going to roll this out. Just be nice and calm. We got plenty of time. I just hope FanDuel doesn't freeze on me, which is sort of doing right now on the other side. Okay, download, upload this. So this is my original template. And we're almost done building these. And I'm going to take a quick look at these. And actually not getting much Bruce Brown at all on FanDuel. What do you think about that? Very interesting. And you want to know why? It's because of the ownership that's going to be coming with it. I love SaberSim. I really do. I think this is great. Okay. So all these are now in, and then I have to do three max stuff. So let's do this. Then we're going to do 5 different 3 max stuff, which is going to be, I'm going to keep that as the way it is. Hold on, we're going to go do 5 different 3 maxes. Oh, 7:15? Oh my God, what's the rush? Plenty of time. Then I got to go back and do DraftKings, right? We're going to eyeball it here a little bit. Okay, makes sense. Getting an awful lot of Dennis Schroeder here, but that is what it is. We'll put this over here. This over here. We'll put this over here. Throw these down here. We will save that, and then we'll go back into FanDuel. Oh, it's on the other screen. Sorry about that. We're going to edit them, and we are now done with FanDuel. Now, let me go back into DraftKings now. First of all, I got to rerun my DraftKings. Hopefully I didn't screw it up. Oh, actually I did, right? So I didn't update the new ones yet. I'm not sure if I did, so let's presume I didn't. So let's put, yeah, I just did FanDuel. Oh, this is going to be close. Nah, I got 717. You know how much time that is in DFS world? All right, so we're now, I'll just show you on the other side. We're going to save one DraftKings projection model here. Boom. Okay, so we can't do that. We got to close that first, and then EK. Then we're going to go into model number 2. I got Discord blasting away. I don't know how people do this all night long with all the late swaps. Hopefully you don't get any of those, or I'm going to get really pissed. I mean, really, really upset. DK2. Boom. Once again, too many of these open. DK2. And then we'll go into the last one. And I can't believe I'm going to be able to get all this done and do it right, which is like kind of even weirder. So let's download over here this, and I'm going to do Yahoo too. Don't forget Yahoo. Same thing with that. Keep forgetting. Okay. Oh, I thought that was open. All right. DK3 is now closed, so now we can save it there. Good. Now let's go back to, it's going to be close. Let's see. Now, let's make sure we don't do too many of these. Good, good, good. Let's see. DraftKings. Boom. No error, please. Thank you. Once again, we're going to put all this into SaberSim. Thank you, SaberSim. You are my hero. Upload data. Do this. All right, so now we're up there. Boom. Success. Now we got to build. Let's see what we have to build. So we go to here, go into lineups, edit entries, and we have 33 entries. Let's see where we're in. So we're going to build, so of the $15, there's going to be, how many of those? 7 to 32. So that's 26 lineups that are just kind of like lottery ticket like lineups, right? So let me go back into there. So it's going to be 26 lineups of this. Again, that's the way you have to win these. That's the, use the slider as you on SaberSim to model for more correlation, for more ownership fades, things like that. This is, in a normal world, I would probably try to go in and hand build all of these again. But again, with that news, it just kind of took me a little bit by surprise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have SaberSim take my projections that I've kind of put together, interlay the ownership projections that I have, kind of come up with good upside lineups. And then what I'll do is throughout the course of the night, maybe go in and upgrade them. Let me just take a real quickly. Yeah, so this is going to have Bruce Brown as the top owned guy, which makes sense at 3K. And we're going to do this, put that in there. And now, what else do I have left over here? What other kinds of lineups do I need? So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lineups, kind of like, 20 max-ish. So kind of like, so we'll make 4 lineups like this. Just want to make sure I have then my net exposure the way I want it. I mean, we could change some of the Chicago stuff as we get a little bit later on. But unfortunately, this Nets game is first, and no, I'm not skipping this. So for those of you that are interested in that, so yeah, so Bruce Brown is going to be pretty highly owned in my lineups. Definitely not something I was anticipating when I started the night, but that's the way it goes. So let's put that over here. Now what else do I need? Now I need kind of three max-ish type lineups. So let's build those. And then what we'll do is then we can go back and then kind of hand tweak. We still have a full 8 minutes, which is amazing, actually. That we still have 8 minutes to do all this. Okay. Download. Get this up here. Then we're going to go, well, how am I going to rank these? Let's rank them this way. We're going to put these two over here. And this one over here. Save. And then upload. And then, okay. Sorry about this, guys. All right, there you are. Did you max enter today, Sheets? No, I didn't max enter. So I did enter quite a bit on FanDuel. Now let me just see what I ended up. I ended up with 60%. Imagine, I didn't even think he was playing, and now I ended up with 60% Bruce Brown. I mean, 3K as a starter is just kind of tough to fade. So let's see if I can't make couple of little tweaks just on principle. What can I do instead of Bruce Brown at 34, a 3K over here? Guys that we talked about before. There's really no good point guards over there, so there's really can't do too much. You could play Chiozza if you want, but no, not really. You could play Patty Mills at 3,700, but that's not enough for that. So it looks as though this is where we're going to roll, man. Now let me take a look at let's look at the biggest one. Let me just see what there is there. Okay. This one's got Jeff Green. This has got Lillard and everything. This has the Laker guy in here, which is probably not what I want. So instead of this, let's go Lillard. I definitely want Zach LaVine. So let's put, instead of Jokic, we'll put LaVine over here. So this is what we can do as far as hand building. Jeff Green I like, Latavius I like, Kawhi I like, Lillard I like. And I got to be able to do better in this spot. I could play Dylan Brooks. I could play Bojan Bogdanovic. I could go back to Will Barton, who I liked a lot. So let me see who looks good at small forward, maybe at 6,200, based on what I just did. Let's see. Small forward at 6,200. Is anybody any good? Not really. Here's Will Barton again. So if I put in Will Barton over here, fine. This one just doesn't have what's his name? Kyrie. That's the thing what this guard thing does. So is this good like this? Lillard is fine. We got Lillard and LaVine. We got Kawhi. We got Mitchell. Do we really need Mitchell, though, if we're not playing Kyrie? That's the question. Probably not. Like, what is... Here's an interesting run back. I think I got it. Hang on. So if I put Barton over here, and then we put DeRozan over here as the run back with Kawhi. Oh, there's the answer. That is the answer. Now let's look at this one. That's a little sneaky, isn't it? All right, so this one again, Bruce Brown, but with Mitchell. I just don't want to I want to have Kyrie in this lineup. I just would rather have Kyrie here. So let's see. We put Kyrie over here. And then, I don't want both. I don't want Davis and Hernangomez. I definitely don't want to do that. And this is still forcing me to take, what's his face? To take, so Jeff Green, take Kawhi. They really, really like Kawhi that much. I can't imagine liking him that much. You can go Barton again. Or, so I definitely don't want to do this. And we got to take care of that, right? I want to get LeVert in this one though. So we play LeVert. This way you get Bruce Brown and Mitchell and LeVert and Kyrie. Don't need all that though. Don't need all that. But now what we could do is we can go back to that Chicago game. And now we can get him. And then where did I want to get, what's his face? I wanted to get Covington, right? So if I put Covington, can I afford this? Not quite. Yep, I could put Covington over there. So now I get Covington and Kobe White. I get Jokic by himself. I get Kyrie Irving and Mitchell. Bruce Brown value. I also have Jeff Green. And then I have 4,600. Then I can spend that on any of this. And then I can go to my value, my Culver that I was talking about. Excellent. Very nice. All right. All with 30 seconds to spare. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see what happens. I will, with 48 seconds to spare. Bojan back in Brooklyn narrative. You know what? You can't play everything, I guess. Or can you? You want to do this for 39 seconds? Let's see. Let's see if I can find one lineup to make you happy. If I could put Bojan in a lineup, he's 6,100. I don't think I'm going to make 22 seconds. You know what? There's a Barton lineup I could get him in, right? Barton, not quite. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'll get Barton 2, 1. All right, you're in. I got you one. I got you one Bojan lineup just for you. I make it? Oh, I actually had one. I didn't even need it. All right, very nice. All right, good luck, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.